Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, August 10th at 5 a.m. right here at the Merlin Incident Command Post in Oregon. Welcome to the 12th edition now of First Facts Live at 5. I'm your host, Kel Casey, and as always, I'd like to thank you for joining us. I'd like to thank the firefighters tuning in out there, and also I do have a support staff of information officers here, always helping answering questions behind the scenes that I'd like to thank as well. We have a lot of information to jump into today. Just always remember, our goal is to serve you, so post your questions here. Let us know what isn't clear for you, and we'll try to help you throughout the day. Let's jump right in here. Taylor Creek Fire grew approximately 400 acres yesterday to 43,388. Containment jumped 7% to 45%, and that makes a lot of folks happy. Approximately 1,000 firefighters assigned. And then the Klondike Fire, up to 38,382 acres. Containment remains at 15%, and approximately 600 personnel working on it. Reminder, there's a community meeting tonight in Agnes at the public library at 6 p.m. It's outside. Celeste Prescott's the lead on that, so join us out there tonight in Agnes. Quick highlights, we're going to talk about evacuation levels, the road closures, that we have one mission and one voice, a transition update as we're out of here on Monday, and that bit more about Agnes. So the evacuation levels in Galice and Taylor Creek downgraded from a level 2 to a 1 yesterday. That's at Josephine County Sheriff's Office. Big shout out to the firefighters working in coordination with engines, air support, and the drone operators to get that area all buttoned up and mopped up. Congrats on that. Galice Creek Road remains a level 3 and closed. And there's also a level 3 closure south of the Klondike Fire on the Forest Road 4103. So we still have 2 areas of level 3. Bear Camp Road and Peavine Road, make no mistake about it, are closed. We are actively fighting fire on Bear Camp Road. Trees have been coming down. There was a big, huge tree that came down yesterday morning that delayed the morning shift from being able to even get to work, and the night shift kept holding the road. Last night, another tree came down and took out a power line. The power company was notified, but please remember, Bear Camp Road and Peavine Road remain closed. Just a reminder that we have one mission and one voice. I think a lot of folks wonder what happens when you have Oregon Department of Forestry, Bureau of Land Management, and the Forest Service all trying to manage one fire. Well, just to be clear, from day one, those 3 agencies have been right here with us in the Incident Command Post. You're in the information unit, but there's the Incident Commanders unit, the Operations unit, Finance unit, Logistics, and the agency representatives are always here from all 3 agencies. They speak at our meetings, they speak to the firefighters. We have one voice and one mission. That's to protect the values at risk, which include your homes, your communities, your businesses, the recreation sites, the river corridor, the private timberlands, state timberlands, federal timberlands, mining claims, in holdings, all of it. We know what our mission is. Firefighters work more effectively when we know our task, purpose, and end state, and the agency administrators have been here from day one. Just want to make sure that you know that. We try to give you as much behind the scenes as we can, but sometimes it's uncertain. It's one mission and one voice, and that's to protect your values at risk. Transition update. Pacific Northwest Team 2, the Type 1 team that I'm on, is 14-day time limit on Sunday. Thankfully, the Alaska Type 1 team, which is my other team, and a lot of us other team, because Oregon, Washington, Alaska have a brother-sisterhood based on the Northwest Accord and just best practices of helping each other out, they're taking over on Monday. Their incident commander has been here with us for 2 weeks, Norm McDonald. You've seen him on the highlight reel a couple times now. He's been working as a Type 1 trainee. Our deputy incident commander, Rob Allen, is a 25-plus year smoke jumper or 20-year smoke jumper out of Fairbanks, Alaska. I'm from Alaska. A lot of us are from Alaska at this point. So there's a lot of transition. We're going to be setting up our Alaskan team for success. We can't stay on. We're going to be redeployed next week after days off. So we're going to end up going home. But we just want to let you know, the school that we're in right now, Fleming Middle School, is going to be open for this school season. We are transitioning from this school over to Lake Selmac, where the incident command post will be consolidated for the Alaskans. So for anybody wondering about schools, they're going to be open. The community meeting tonight in Agnes, again, outside at the public library. Our public information officer team, led by Celeste Prescott, will be on hand all day today to answer your questions about the meeting. We know that Agnes is being impacted by the closure of Bear Creek Road, It's a big shout out to the community. You had a long summer last summer. It was a pleasure to meet many of you out there at the campground, the store, the restaurant's fantastic, the Cougar. Great food, beautiful place. We know it's a long season ahead, so we'll be out there talking to you about that tonight. The firefighters have made great progress on the contingency lines that do go all the way out to Agnes, down to winter camp. They've worked on 40 plus miles of roads, opening them up, setting up for success, whether it's for this long-term fire or for a new blaze that could start. Which brings us right into the hot and dry conditions that we have. Yesterday we talked about the lid could come off. Well, it didn't quite. The smoke stayed in there, kept the inversion. I think our IMET said there were 6 different inversions when he launched a weather balloon up through 6,000 feet. Today, let's talk about what would it look like, whether it's now or in the future when the lid comes off. We have record low live fuel moistures. It's dry and record hot. The forest is very receptive, so you're gonna see some alignment with slope and terrain and fuel all line up, and some large column growth if the lid comes off. That's just a natural part of when these inversion lifts. So even though the smoke is horrendous, we know it's impacting so many people's lives, it's impacting everybody in Southwest Oregon. It is a mixed blessing because with that smoke here, it keeps that lid on. We've anticipated the change in the weather. The IMET says southwest winds of gusts up to 20, and then Saturday, Sunday, low pressure with northeast winds through Monday, and the heat builds back up next week. So if the smoke clears out, keep an eye out for the large column growth. If it does grow, it'll probably re-smoke this place right back in again. Again, a mixed blessing. Okay, how do we monitor the large fire growth? We talked yesterday a little bit about the JTAC and the 30,000 foot military aircraft called the DIRTY. That's the Distributed Real-Time Infrared. It's an airplane that has it's an R-26. It really is a military aircraft, and I'm gonna post an interview with the JTAC, the coordinator for that ship, later this morning. We had him in the studio yesterday. He's a fantastic military operator named Jimmy. He's also one of our firefighters, and that's a Department of Defense, United States Forest Service partnership. We're gonna tell you all about it. Okay, let's jump into the operational update. So, on the Taylor Creek fire, the National Guardsmen and women have worked on the mop-up 300 to 600 feet in areas where it's very, very steep. They went to where it made sense. And so those crews are now relocating down to Lake Selmac yesterday, and they'll be plugged in to do the exact same work they did here, that really hard mop-up, mixing the dirt, mixing with water, backbreaking work along here so we can start getting the black line here. There's gonna be long-term repair in this area. So for the next weeks and months, there are still crews in here behind the National Guard that are looking to identify bulldozer lines, hand lines. So folks who are wondering when their backyards or the areas that were impacted during the massive firefight last week, it's gonna be days, weeks, and months. It's not a short-term fix. Okay, up on the Taylor Creek and Glees Creek, that black line's all the way over now. Nice work there. Glees Creek Road, they're mopping up around the structures. Bear Camp Road, you can see now those low backing fires have worked. It's all filled into our intended containment line, which is Bear Camp Road. They'll be holding that today. After a few more days, the Josephine County Sheriff's Office will assess, but just remember, there's a new normal. When you loosen up everything that was holding the rocks and sticks and trees on that angle of repose or locked into soil, and all that is burned off, you're gonna have a release. And so trees are coming down, rocks are coming down. That's the new normal for several months, not several days. So for those of you, when this gets reopened by the sheriff, whenever that is, it's going to be a watch out situation. That's your new normal. Keep that in mind. Chrome Ridge, the progress, very, very good work here by the firefighters. Big shout out to them, mopping up, going in deeper, using the drone when needed to create more depth in here, keeping this fire evened up so it can come down together. They have all these structures prepped and prepared for. They're not gonna pull any fire around these structures until they need to. This is still slow moving. We wanna keep it that way. That keeps the understory burn going. And remember, this is what we train for. This is what our incident commander always says. For a lot of people, having fire around their houses, in their neighborhoods is an emergency. For us, it's what we train for. This is what we do. We plan for this. We have trigger points established. We're calm about it. We anticipate the weather. When we need to protect these structures with a little bit of fire around them, we will do that. People have asked about the Onion Mountain fire. That burn scar, not doing too much growth. We have the mountain lookout there protected. Things are looking really good in there. The dirty, that mission ship was flying all up and down yesterday. They know exactly where the fire is in here. Okay, moving on over to that ridge, getting more depth. They're gonna move the drone that was being used to fill in and even up these ridges into here today. Yesterday, some natural fire that they were planning on burning out anyway moved west off of our line further in. You can see some of the fire growth on the Klondike fire. The branch director, Reggie Bray, we put up an entire operations update for you who love to watch operations. We put all 3 ops guys up last night so you could hear their words from the horse's mouth. That's unedited, real information, totally transparent. He said it did what we wanted to do in there. We're not going to add any more this way. The surge group is looking to turn this corner. That's a careful process. We don't rush those processes. We look at the winds. That's where we have the 2 hot shot crews and the type 2 IA crew in there. They're going to be looking to move some fire around this edge when the time is right and when they can do that safely. Moving over to the west, tying this into the Chetco bar fire is one of the big goals. And so that scouting and work of prepping, moving logs, chipping, that's all underway. There has been some fire growth naturally in the south. We're monitoring that from the Dirty and the Scan Eagle. There has been a little bit of movement here, but not too much. We've also been monitoring that as well. Okay, the Gliese Resort opens today. We're happy for you. Congratulations. Just remember, there's a new normal. Things aren't what they used to be. There's going to be fire engines, firefighters, big water tenders moving in and around this area. For the folks who go back in there to celebrate, and please do just take your time, drive carefully, keep an eye out. It's never a great mix when we have a lot of excited public and firefighters still working. Sometimes that's when things become a really bit of a watch out situation for everybody. Take your time in there, celebrate, get on the river, enjoy your area, but just please, let's not have any issues where we have traffic getting involved with an accident with our firefighters. They are focused on their mission and they're here to serve you. So again, the schools will be opening like normal. There shouldn't be any delay at all. And standard firefighting order number 1, keep informed on weather, conditions, and forecasts. We'll be watching for that lid to come off today. Our goal is to serve you. We have 2 more episodes of Live at 5. Keep your questions coming. Let us know what we can do on our last couple days here before we head out to get rested up, to get ready to go to the next fire. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you for all your support to the firefighters. Be firewise, do some prep. That's the greatest gift when you ask us how you can really help us. Prep your house, do it now. There could be a new start in the neighborhood, there could be lightning coming. Get your house ready, that's how you best serve us. Thank you so much.